I found this article. Well, found this article. Rich posted this article to our private Discord from Phoronix. So, Rich, I'm going to let you set this up for us.
Yeah, so this was just a couple nights ago, or one night ago, perhaps. But yeah,
I think it was
Phoronix
yesterday.
yesterday. Okay, it's posted that. And by the way, this article is written by Michael Larabell of Valve. So Proton 11.0 beta released with more games playable on Steam Play, and it just talks through some of the games that were made playable. So the Golden Sword, Dino Crisis, From Dust Don't Die, Metal Gear Survive, and Warhammer Vermintide 2, among others. But the point here is 11.0 is now available for the first beta. And the big thing here is, bringing FEX into Proton officially. So this is now making games playable without needing to go through, say, is it GameNative, GameHub,
Right.
on
Right.
ARM devices. It'll, on Linux at least.
Then, Russ, you've been actually using this. I'm using quotes because I'm not we seem like we're not sure how it's
Right.
working, right?
Yeah, so I don't understand the inner workings well enough to know whether or not they're related, but Rocknix, which is a Linux-based operating system that runs on ARM-based devices, including high-end ones like the Odin 2, Odin, the whole line Odin 2, and then also this Thor and stuff like that. So Snapdragon AYn 2, and this is like the same kind of thing that Kerry was messing around with last week that he was telling us about. So they yesterday launched Steam as an app within Rocknix. And so you can just go in with the latest nightly build of their OS, and then you can just go in, install Steam. It just starts up Steam as it's an app. So it's not going into game scope. It's not going into death or game mode like you would on a Steam Deck, but instead it's just running the Linux version of that app. But because of this ARM compatibility, which I'm assuming either they pulled from this FEX to 2604 or they built it in themselves, I'm not really sure. The timing is just kind of strange because this came out before that announcement, so I don't know how fast they were on the take. And I'm assuming they had to test it for a few days before they did it. But either way, so I can now go into Rocknix on my Thor or other device and just go into Steam, find my library, and it's just like navigating through big picture mode, start up a game, and there's a lot of bugs. Like right now, it's not necessarily the games that are having issues. It's the interface between Rocknix and launching the game correctly. So often I'll start up a game and then the game runs in the background behind Steam Big Picture mode. So I can hear it and I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds like it's going to be a fun game to play, but I can't tab over into that other window to actually play it. There's no alt tab on these handhelds, And so there's just some kinks that need to be worked out. But I think in general, super exciting, and performance wise, I haven't been able to get a lot of heavy duty games to run because it's running off of an SD card on Rocknix. And so it just takes forever to download it and to launch it. Like it just takes a while. So I don't want to do big heavy games, but the heaviest game I've tried was Replaced, which came out this week, which is a surprisingly heavy game. Like it's not easy to run, but I was running it at 1080p at a playable frame rate. I'm not able to see what the frames per second are in the menu, but I would guess around 30. And it's pretty amazing. Like it feels like it's already getting the performance that GameNative and GameHub are at after a year of development. And we're talking day one, which is pretty awesome.
That is amazing. And so I don't think I can shed a ton of light on like Rocknix, but I can say that build of Steam is like a community or Rocknix developed build of Steam. Like it's not Valve providing, the Steam build here. I suspect that this is leveraging the fact that, Proton 11 has been made available because from Steam, the way it's launching is through Steam Play, right? And I don't. My understanding is that this is the first time FEX is now available in Steam Play officially, right? Like you could have hooked it up beforehand. So maybe that is something that they're doing, but this is the first time it's available officially through Steam Play. And so I suspect that they're leveraging that, but I think importantly, this is just like the Steam controller shipment, right? This is another big sign, two big signs in the same week that they're essentially getting ready to ship, right? So one is a software signal, the other one being a hardware signal, but the signs are clearly there, I think.
Yeah, and it's exciting. Like just the the potential of this. Obviously, like I'm working on a video. I've been recording footage all day, just trying to get these games to run. And I think I haven't finished the video, but I think my conclusion is going to be like, hey, this is really cool. You don't need to do it, but it is really cool to see that this is happening right now and super promising 6 months from now.
You know what else this opens up? I think that'll excite some people is pretty soon, I imagine, we'll start seeing like a macOS build with this, with specs available, and being able to play basically anything on a MacBook, right? Or at least try to play basically anything on a MacBook. So that should be exciting as well.
Yeah, GameHub is already in a beta for running on Mac right now. I went into their Discord. I'm like, "Hi, my name is Russ. Please let me in," kind of thing. Even though I like know those folks because they're a game server basically,
right? Yeah.
But they didn't respond, so I'm not in that closed beta, which is unfortunate. But all good.
Yeah, that one, I don't know his name, but that one guy, is he CEO, owner of GameSir? He seems to be doing a lot. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like he always seems controllers, software, so he's always doing something.
He is crazy. Like one of my favorite moments of CES is going and seeing him every year and just hearing the crazy things coming out of his mouth and his ideas, because he's young. I mean, he's probably mid-20s now, but he was like 17, 18 when he started the company, and he's just got all these fun ideas and he's very retro game minded, which is always fun for us to talk about. So yeah, super cool.
I feel like these companies that are making things like GameSir and stuff like that, I feel like companies like that, there's a beetle on me. Damn it. Jesus. I don't like bugs. And it's beetle season. They're coming out and they're crawling all over the outside of the house and some of them get in. Anyway, sorry for that. I feel like these companies like GameSir, they're so small that they I bet you that CEO is doing 14 jobs. You know what I mean?
Probably.
Because they can't afford to keep everybody on to do what they got to do, especially with the way things have been.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, fun fact before you move over. I just read yesterday that 25% of all animals on the planet are beetles.
That is crazy? A crazy stat.
Yeah.
That is insane.
That doesn't seem possible.
It does not.
25% of all the animals on the planet right now are beetles.
What are the bug people at
entomologists or something?
Entomologists, right? Not etymologists. Yeah. Entomologist. If you're an entomologist, tell us in the chat. I want to know.
The other crazy fact I learned was that if you took all the mammals on the planet and put them in a bag and try to reach in and pull them out, 20% of the time you'd pull out a bat. Isn't that crazy?
What? Yeah. You're blowing my mind today.
I think he's on TikTok. Are you on TikTok?
No,
yeah, are you on TikTok?
This was Reddit. I read it on Reddit. It's real.
It must be real.
If you read it on Reddit, it has to be real.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, that's for real.
But
Rich,
before
a second ago... Oh, go ahead.
Are you still talking about Proton? Because
I am still talking about Proton. Okay, I had a quick question.
Yeah, okay. Go for it.
A minute ago, you said you're playing. This is launching through Steam Play. Did you mean Steam Works? Or am I having a brain fart? What is Steam Play? I can't remember.
Steam Play is there. I'm looking it up now, but is there like layer where you can select different like not emulators, but you can select different things with which to launch a game. Let me see if I can find it real quick. So like it is their
like different assets?
No. Like Steam Play is how Steam knows to launch this game using Proton. Or if you want to switch it, you want to switch it to use just vanilla wine. That's how it knows to launch using wine. I forget now what the other mid layers are, but you can switch those layers, and some are better for some games than Proton, right? And so on Windows, go ahead.
I was just going to say that Batocera, which is a Linux-based operating system, it also allows you to load up Steam, and then there's an option within there. You have to enable Steam Play, and that's for Windows games. Basically, it's in order to get them to run on Linux through their thing. So that makes sense. Yeah, it's like whatever translation or compatibility layer they're going to use. Yeah,
so this is the first time that like essentially Proton for ARM is being added to that Steam Play layer.
Very cool.
The thing I was going to ask is, have you guys seen Steam on Switch now?
I saw that, but I didn't like I didn't watch the video because I was at work. I just saw somebody like mention it on my Discord, and I was like, that's wild.
That's wild. Yeah. So I think we're just going to see more and more of that in the next, just let's say 1 to 2 weeks. We're going to see a lot of that. And I'm super excited. It's an exciting time, I think.
We've talked about this a lot in the past about the idea of Valve just shipping a phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I think is way more likely, the more that I think about it, is that somebody's going to make a phone and then partner with Valve, kind of like, what's the first non-Steam hardware that had Steam OS on it?
The Legion OS.
Legion OS, thank you. Just like the Legion OS, where Lenovo is like, we're going to make a phone, and let's throw Steam on there as the operating system. How long do you guys think it'll be before we get, like, I don't know, the OnePlus Steam or the Oppo Find Steam or something like that kind of thing, or the Samsung Steam Galaxy 3 or whatever? How much time before you actually get a launch like that?
I think that it's going to come down to that. I think Valve will probably watch what's happening in terms of the community and where the enthusiasm is going and maybe follow that. So I'm not thinking about phones. I'm thinking about like handhelds and stuff. And I feel a bit of part of the process too is like showing people how cool this can be on various different things, like a Retroid Pocket 6, and this thing can run Steam on it, and then they're like, wow, that would be really neat as like a mini Steam Deck. And then I don't know, I could see them potentially talking to like the community developers and kind of getting an in, and kind of figuring out how they can work together, much in the same way that like, used to make like 8BitDo videos and be like, this thing doesn't work properly on the Steam Deck. 8BitDo needs to fix this. And then Steam, like Valve went and fixed it on their end. You know what I mean? In terms of compatibility. So that's what I'm kind of envisioning, is that it's going to start kind of homegrown and kind of cottage industry, and then move into a place where it gets Valve's attention. And that's where we're going to see something. I don't know if the manufacturers are going to think about this and be like, we need a Steam phone. Like I'm not sure if that's going to happen at the manufacturer level, but rather at the grassroots level. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and there's still quite a bit of a hill to climb, because right now what we're talking about is Linux on ARM, and so if we're talking about Android on ARM, well, that is still possible, as we can see with GameHub and GameNative, but Valve is not yet, and I know that they must be thinking about this in the background, but they don't yet seem motivated to deal with that. They're dealing with this problem now, and then they'll figure that out. And I think, Russ, you're right. They'll probably wait to see where the community interest lies. But it's almost impossible to overestimate how long Valve will take to do something, because
That's true. That's absolutely true. Valve time is a thing for a reason.
Yeah,
I do feel like software wise, and not only just software, but like Proton and AYn and all these kind of things that they work through, effects and whatnot, that I feel like moves at a faster pace, and they're more experimental. They're willing to kind of do these cool things, as opposed to like creating a product and putting that out, and so I do think that this is somewhere where I see all the innovations potentially happening a lot sooner than your typical Valve timeline.
Yeah, there's this saying, I forget exactly how it goes, but something like, you overestimate what you can do in a week and underestimate what you can do in a year. And Valve is like the embodiment of that, right? Like if you think about what you want Valve to do and try to put a timeline on it, they'll probably disappoint you. But if you just let Valve cook and just let them do what they want to do, you'll be surprised by how quickly they make progress, because not no one, but very few people were asking for Steam on Linux, right? Like that was not what people were looking for. But that's what it took for them to deliver what we actually wanted, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, hey, when the Steam Deck first got announced and they were like, and it runs Steam OS, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. What's that? And they were like, it's Linux. I was like, ooh, I'm not really interested in using Linux. Linux is supposed to be really hard to use. Turns out it's not. It works pretty well. They've made huge strides since the last time that I had tried it 20 plus years ago, So, like, I think that you're right about, like, if you just close your eyes and you wait, you're going to open them and you're going to be like, whoa, they've made huge strides. They've made some big changes that I didn't expect. But I'm going to try and answer my own question. I give it 2 years from the launch of the Steam frame, because the Steam frame is ARM and it's running SteamOS. And if they have it running on ARM, on SteamOS running on ARM for Steam frame, I bet we will get a third-party manufacturer that is going to put out either a phone or B, one of these little fun handheld things like the AYn Thor. I think we'll get one of them that has SteamOS just built in, shipping with it as an option. Like you'll be able to pick from a drop down. You'd be like, okay, well, do I want white or black? I want black. Do I want it to have red buttons or yellow buttons? I'll go with the red buttons. And do I want it SteamOS or Android? I'm going to go, or regular Android. I'll go SteamOS. And then boom, we're off to the races. I think 2 years from whenever the frame actually gets here.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I guess the way I'm seeing it is that, right now, like I mentioned, Rocknix is running off an SD card. It doesn't have to. You can actually, there's a setting within there. You go in the system settings and like, hey, go ahead and overwrite my Android ROM with like the actual Rocknix build, and you can just make it your internal storage. And I never do that. And I never suggest anyone does that because it's going to wipe your Android, right? But I envision in 2 years that we'll get to a point where I will want to do that. Like it's going to be that good. Like we're going to be able to have not only all the emulation stuff and then also things like Portmaster and whatnot, but then also be able to log in and just play our Steam games. Like that's where I see this heading, in a way that's to the point where I'll probably replace Android on some of my devices, which is crazy.
Very well.
I've got a bit of breaking news. Yeah. So
Thank
you for doing the
Share
breaking
your
news
screen,
sound.
man.
All right. So this once
I
again
want to see this.
comes from, sadly, it's Bradley.
He's all over the place this
he-
week.
He is. Dude is a machine.
He's insane.
Rich and I, Russ, Rich and I did an episode one day where it was just the two of us. And the thing that we remarked on was the idea that, what was it, 15 minutes after something happened at like 3 o'clock in the morning, Bradley had posted his, There
Look,
you go.
This is 43 minutes old. And so he's sharing that now. I was basically saying this, so I was a little ahead of myself. Now, Fex and ARM version of Steam Linux Runtime comes bundled with the Steam client. So this is from steamdb.info, and it shows that in the Steam client, you now get the Steam Linux Runtime for ARM. So that's pretty neat.
That's awesome.
Crazy.
It's time. Things are happening.
Things are happening. Let us know what you think about all of the things that are happening in the comments section down below. This was just a small part of my podcast, the Nerd Nest podcast. And if you enjoyed it, then do me a favor and click on that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, then I think you should check out the link in the description down below the like button. It's going to take you to the full podcast so you can check out the entire conversation and a whole lot more. If that sounds good, I hope to see you over there. Stay rad, and thanks for watching.